Welcome to the very last informational episode of the Fireside Tales. At least for a little while. If you all are not familiar with me, my name is Father Martin, and as I said, there are going to be some changes here at the Fireside Tales. And one of them is that we are going to move away from the encyclopedia of this world and get back into the storytelling. Original tales of the fireside. We've done a lot of things that you could probably find on your Goggle, I believe it's called, Google, whatever it's called, and the Wicca stuff, Wicca, I don't know what it's called. But we've done a lot of that information, and we decided that we wanted to tell more original stories, things that you have never heard about. And we will still do those Goggle stories occasionally, but a lot more of the original stuff. You all like original, right? And there may be a few less episodes every month than usual, sort of like how Common Sense, that series Seth Lewis does with the quiz show, is done just a little bit less here recently. The Fireside Tales might be that way too. But of course they'll still be doing that stuff, along with all sorts of stuff that he does. I just don't know how he does it, like that ghost pepper and thing. Ugh. Anyways, I wanted to talk today about the important figures here at the Fireside Tales. Now, there are quite a few important individuals, and I could go on and on about them. But the one I wanted to talk about first was Paul Bunyan. A giant who you all probably know about, but isn't really well known in the giant community. The few giant tribes that do know about him disown him, because he was such a friend of humans, which is kind of, it's taboo in giant culture, although not unheard of to find a few tribes out there that will be friendly to us. But we don't know when Paul Bunyan was born, or when he died. Now, there has been theories that he has existed since time began, and that one day he will return to this world, when the lumberjacks are needed once more. I do not believe either of these theories. I think that he was born, and I think that he is now dead. Most likely, anything is possible here at the Fireside Tales. But it would be kind of like saying some person who lived 300 years ago in your world was still alive. That would be similar with Paul Bunyan. We have a belief that his bones are located under some mountains. We can't be sure they are his bones. It could be any giant's, but there's a lot of evidence about his location and things like that to back it up. Now, Paul Bunyan's sexuality has always been a controversial topic. Maybe not so much here at the Fireside Tales, but in your world. There's 3 different theories. One, he was married, but he didn't really like his wife, and he kept her hidden, and most of the people that knew his wife knew that she just wasn't one to talk to. She was most likely a human being, which means Paul Bunyan wouldn't have even been able to reproduce with her and have any children. I would say that this theory does have some evidence behind it, but no one has ever seen Paul Bunyan's wife. So there's never any true proof of it. Then there is the theory that he was a homosexual. There are some lumberjacks that said they saw some things that Paul Bunyan did with a fellow lumberjack. They could just be rumors. These men were kind of a bit mad at Paul Bunyan after he fired them from the mill. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not saying that it is. I will confess that it is the theory that I have come to believe after looking over the work, but there are several people that don't think that here. Devin still believes that he was the next theory that I'm going to be talking about. The third one, which is that he was an asexual. Asexuals are about 1% of your population. They're much more common out here in the Fireside Tales. Organisms, well, they're different from here. You have to understand that when you start thinking about the Fireside Tales world, things that you think are important or significant become very much insignificant. And being an asexual is not uncommon in the Fireside Tales universe. Now, Paul Bunyan did spend a lot of time alone out in the woods, and again, we don't have any evidence of him having a relationship with anyone, just rumors. So maybe he was. Maybe he was just a lone wanderer of the forest. So take that for what it is. That's all the information I can really give you about him. Moving on to the Thief Prince. A lot of you probably think that this was one individual. This is possible. I personally believe that it was many individuals, and think that the evidence points to that. The Thief Prince was a person from Arabia, Ireland, France, and England, and he was also an individual from across centuries. He will exist in the future, he might exist in this time, and he definitely existed in the past, and from the 1300s to the 1800s on. Now, the Thief Prince is one of the few people ever to defeat the, well, he didn't defeat it, but he was able to fight off the Nightmare. The sword that he used is currently in the possession of the Fireside Tales, so we do have that artifact. Moving into our next character, we have Sky and Mia. Now, you all might know that Sky and Mia were, in many ways, the founders of the Fireside Tales. But not exactly. Let me tell you the whole story. The Fireside Tales has been around since time began, maybe even before it. And there's a lot of debate about whether or not this Fireside Tales is the one that has been back then. But there is some who say that at least in name, Sky and Mia were the ones that came up with this organization. At the top of the highest tower in the Kingdom of Light, they sat around and they discussed what exactly this organization should be and decided to make it about protecting an artifact that you all have heard about, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Next up, we have the character of the Nightmare and Nomad. I'm going to go ahead and put them together. The Nightmare is the beast. It is a creature that has been heard about and is even mentioned in your Bible. It is a creature that is usually just a raging monster, but it can use a human substitute. And by using this human substitute, it can enter our world, and it can act just like one of us. The Nightmare seems to prefer to use human substitutes because it means that it can be mentally powerful, but it is also possible for it to be in beast form. The demon Nomad's human substitute is Nicholas Vulgar, whose whereabouts, well, I know where he is, but I'm afraid you all can't. But anyways, Nicholas Vulgar is out there. I can say that much, and we here at the Fireside Tales know exactly where he needs to be. The next character that I'd like to discuss very quickly, I know that I'm moving on from Nomad and the Nightmare, but there's a lot more to do and we're running out of time. So I'll just say that they probably are having their own human substitutes in this world right now, even as we speak. Nicholas Vulgar, of course, and also the Nightmare may have a human substitute somewhere. But the next character I wanted to discuss was the Wicker Saul. The Wicker Saul, his whereabouts are unknown, much like Nicholas Vulgar's and Nomad's. I don't know why that right just now it cut off a little bit. I believe someone or something was messing with the tapes. But anyways, the thing you have to know is that it was originally stated that the Wicker Saul does not belong to the man in black, the man in white, or the man in gray. But this is not necessarily true. He may very well belong to them. We just don't know which one he belongs to, and I suppose we never will. He could belong to any one of them. And yes, that is the end. I really must be going. I have quite a lot to do. I hope you enjoyed this. We might do one more. How about the things of the Fireside Tales, and then we will quit this forever. So I hope you enjoyed that, and get ready for more original work here at the Fireside.